USA, USA, USAO, and welcome to No Dunks, a basketball podcast based in America, proudly a part of the Athletic Podcast Network. Whether you're joining us right now on YouTube as part of the stream team or listening to the podcast a little bit later, thank you very much for joining us today. Alongside me, thanks to the power of technology, he's got a green card, so he's American in my books. It's Tass Mellis.
I'm a citizen. Yeah, green card. That's last year, man.
Last year.
Yeah, like 5 years ago. This is like, you just remind me, this is like James Naismith. Yeah, the game was sort of invented here, but it was invented by a Canadian, just like the show, you know? Similar.
I love it. And also one of America's finest, Jeshua Kid, making the magic happen. What's up, Ash?
How we feeling?
Guys, I am so hype. I have been on cloud nine since, 5:30 p.m. yesterday. All I wanted to do was say USA, USA, USA over and over, maybe record a podcast or play pickup basketball. It ended up being pickup basketball, but now it's podcasting time. However, if you want some more Olympics, not just the basketball stuff, go check out last night's Summer of Champions with Skeets, Nora, and JD. Some great stuff in there. You got Nora talking basketball. Fun to hear. Her takes on LeBron's bushy gray beard. What else? The men's 200 meter they discussed. Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone dominating the field in the hurdles. So much good stuff. And of course, they kicked it off talking about Team USA yesterday. So let's get into it. I want to talk hoops. What a game, Tass Mellis. Team USA trailed by as many as 17 points in the semifinal against Serbia, down 13 heading into the fourth quarter. But thanks to American heroes Joel Embiid, Steph Curry, LeBron James, and Kevin Durant, they pulled off the thrilling comeback to advance to the gold medal game. Tass, I feel like I could talk for 90 straight minutes about this game, but I want to hear what you have to say as well.
Well, I mean, we can go 4 hours on this podcast. You could still talk about it for 90 minutes if you want. There's just so many reasons that this was amazing. It was phenomenal. I think when this all started, I wanted to see LeBron, Steph, and Kevin Durant, who I think are the three greatest NBA players to start their careers in the 2000s, or you can call them the best players of the 2000s. I know there's other players that started their career in the 90s and then carried it over 2000s, like Kobe, Duncan, and Shaq. But these are the three that we have talked about the most on this show, that's for sure. I didn't go back and count the words, but these are the three greats, and this is probably the last time we're going to see them play. And then they had in a tournament like this together, and then they had this phenomenal game where we were waiting for a Steph game, and he comes out and he hits that first shot and he misses the second. That doesn't matter. He keeps shooting, and he just buries shot after shot after shot for this team. 17 of USA's 23 in the first quarter, all him. But Serbia takes the lead, that 17 big point lead, because this was the best game that they've played in the tournament by far. For me, watching guys like Jokic, who people question their defense, make a pick pocket. Like he picked Anthony Edwards trying to make that pocket pass. Like Jokic was just ready, and they were just so good. And USA couldn't take the lead until Steph rattled that ball home. That was a rattler. That these are the type of rims that just rattle. They're so loud.
They are loud.
Ball. Yeah, they are. And that was 2:20 left in the fourth quarter. So that was a long span, like 3 quarters. That fourth quarter where USA just played incredible defense, was ready to take it over, and they did, starting with Steph and then LeBron had to make, and then Curry with that steal from Bogdanovic. Oh, tough last few minutes for Bogdan. And then LeBron went for it. He went for it as well. He's trying to match Steph, that 3-point shot with about, I think it was like 1:20 left. There was 16 left on the shot clock, but he said, I'm just doing it. And he missed that one. But then, Durant saying, everybody out of the way, Joel, do not come up here for that pick. And to see him finish a shot, to me, those three guys having this great game, this great finish, those great photos of them all together, like Kobe and LeBron. I'm already saying Kobe, Curry and LeBron played 4 straight finals against each other. They had to have been rivals, but they've made amends and them yelling at each other like that was incredible. That's why the Olympics are so great for so many reasons. Like, you can't talk trash to your teammates. You can't talk trash to people wearing the same uniform as you with the same country. I mean, the same thing goes for Serbia. It was a great performance by them. The Serbian fans singing the national anthem. It was, and you heard Durant talk about it after the game. This is why the Olympics are so good. It's just so fun. Everybody dancing. There is less trash talk in games, which I kind of like, here's a great photo. We're showing it to you here on our YouTube stream. Like, these are the guys. These brought it all together. It was a special, special day for the USA.
Yeah, that was so awesome. As soon as the game was over, seeing LeBron and Curry and KD celebrating all together. You're exactly right, Tass. They're the three best players of their generation. This is obviously Steph Curry's first real Olympics moment. So to see him come through in the clutch and in the not clutch, like, the only reason this was a game is because Steph Curry kept him in at 20 points in the first half. He ended up with 36, had 9 threes. And amazingly, the one that finally put the U.S. ahead in the fourth quarter, the one you're talking about that rattled around, I think that's the only time he touched the rim, shooting from 3 from deep. And that one was so dramatic, the way it finally went down. Got a great kaboom from Noah Eagle, who should get a gold medal for the way he called this game. He was in his bag for this one, but that was awesome. We were watching on playback. And honestly, some of the young guys seemed like young guys through the first 3 quarters. Tass. Anthony Edwards had a bit of a deer in the headlights kind of vibe. I thought Drew Holiday didn't really want to shoot. Derek White was kind of out of it, fouled a 3-point shooter right at the end of the third quarter. So we're going into the fourth, and we're just saying, you got to be 30 years or older to play in this fourth quarter. And that's basically what Steve Kerr did, because it was LeBron, KD, and Curry, of course. Then you got Joel Embiid, who is, I think, 30 years old. He played the majority of the fourth quarter as well. At one point, scored 7 straight for the U.S. to get them back within 2 in this game. He was driving me crazy with the defensive rebounding, but it's all good. Anthony Davis got a little taste as well. I think he's 31. And then Devin Booker played quite a bit in the fourth quarter, but that guy wishes he was at least 30 years old. He wishes he was around for the 90s. An old soul, made a huge 3-pointer. I thought he was doing a better job sticking to his defensive assignment than Drew Holiday even was. Great stuff from Booker. But yeah, Embiid scores the 7 straight. I thought he was a monster screening as well on the Curry 3 that put him ahead. It's a Embiid screen. Kevin Durant had a little bit of a jumper as well that came off of an Embiid handoff. He was making the right plays, couldn't grab the board, but he was making the right plays every single time offensively. That was awesome. And then the last 13 points come from LeBron, KD, and Steph, and they're all doing it their own way. Steph hitting the 3, LeBron going coast to coast for the fancy reverse layup, left hand side, but shoots it right-handed over his head. That was awesome. And then, of course, Kevin Durant, the cross, the sauce, the splash, another great call from Noah Eagle. But it was like those 3 guys who we've been watching their careers for, with LeBron, a couple of decades at this point, Steph and KD, more like a decade and a half, doing what they do best when their team absolutely needed it. They said, we're not losing this game. They made plays offensively, and the defense in the fourth quarter for the U.S. went to another level. They were very sloppy, I thought, through the first 3 quarters. So many wide open threes for Serbia, too much gambling. But LeBron started guarding Jokic in the fourth quarter, allowed Embiid be the helper, and they overplayed stuff, taking away the threes. Serbia still got some open looks, couldn't knock them down. 15 threes through the first 3 quarters, 5 in each of the quarters, none in the fourth. They needed every single bit of the offense. They needed every single bit of the defense in this one. So I don't know, proud moments. Seeing those dudes celebrate at the end of the game, I thought was so awesome. I want to see like paintings in museums of that moment, just seeing the elation from that. But it was awesome. It seemed like those 5 guys that played the fourth quarter were completely locked in. They were playing in a flow state together. Kevin Durant said afterwards, we didn't run any plays. We were just freelancing out there, but it looked like they knew exactly where everybody needed to be their best, which was kind of surprising because I don't necessarily think we've seen that sort of chemistry and continuity throughout these Olympics. But when they needed it the most, those 10 minutes in the fourth quarter, they found it.
Yeah, those 10 minutes were everything that they needed defensively. Although, as you said about Joel Embiid and his defensive rebounding, which was lacking, he could give it all on the offensive end as he was doing, but on the defensive end, he was taking a little bit of a break in terms of just throwing his body in front of everybody. Like Milutinov of Serbia, those offensive rebounds. He had 4 offensive rebounds. He only played 12 minutes, and that was the thing that
It was huge.
Like you mentioned about the American team. They just said, "Okay, old guys, you got to do it." They finally played like Steph and LeBron, heavy minutes, and Durant was there to help out to be that third wheel. It's so weird watching Durant be sort of the third wheel, the third guy on a basketball team. But I'm sure Mike Budenholzer in Phoenix has taken some damn notes. Like maybe Kevin Durant should be pushed up in the pecking order a little bit more. Like him and Booker can work together. Like Booker was doing a great job of just being the 5th guy playing very, very good defense. Like this is the 21 playoffs where he went to the NBA finals. Like he's really good at that, and just being the guy that stepped aside and let the 4 guys. Because I didn't mention Embiid right off the top when I gave my little spiel, because it's the other 3 guys who have been the best for such a long time. But it's easy to forget that Embiid's a damn MVP in this league. So they just have so much talent. But Serbia able to take a 17-point lead until the 4th, until the U.S. really picked it up defensively. Like Durant was guarding full court at times, guarding other guards. That was freaking awesome. So just a fun experience here in obviously an extremely important game where Serbia decided to play their best. As I said, like Jokic blocking a shot. Yeah, they were just ready to go from the get-go. And so that's why they got up so big. And they're, obviously the U.S. timed it perfectly where Curry had his game. Like right here, right now, he was needed. But they could have been down way more, but Curry just started hitting from the get-go. Those 9 threes held them in this game until they finally were able to put it together. And Steve Kerr had to make some calls. Like Anthony Edwards, couple bad turnovers and taking gambles on the defensive end. Had to sit. He had to sit. But Booker's been so good as that complimentary guy. It was a pretty easy decision. But Embiid also, as I said, Curry's best game. Embiid also has just peaked the last couple of games too. So it's and all these MVPs just playing like MVPs.
Yeah, there was so much going on. 5 MVPs on the court for the 4th quarter here with 4 on the U.S. team and then Jokic as well. But like, it took me until after the game was over and I finally went and looked at the box score to realize LeBron had a triple-double. Only guy to ever have multiple triple-doubles in the Olympics. He was awesome. I mentioned he was guarding Jokic, but it really, you heard it from the USA players afterwards. They were giving so much credit to Curry for keeping him in the game. Obviously, kept him attached, was huge in the first quarter. They had that 3 from the left corner, I suppose, right in front of the USA bench. Those guys were going insane. You would have thought this was going to be a 25-point blowout the way that was going. But yeah, Serbia, they really brought it in this one. I kind of feel like they were rope-a-doping a little bit, Tass. Like they were okay through the group stages. They had their awesome comeback against Australia, and then they were clearly saving their best for this game because they were fired up. You got Bogdan Bogdanovic talking trash to Melo. You got the Serbian head coach getting a technical on a potential travel from Joel Embiid, if I'm being quite honest. And then Jokic, man, everybody says this guy doesn't care about basketball. Well, he definitely cares about international basketball because he was so fiery in this one. They understood the stakes. The U.S. understood the stakes. People are saying that was the gold medal game. We'll see. France is going to be tough to beat, obviously, but it felt like we were watching a gold medal game. Pop yourself in here, Ash, because I got a great comment here from Yash, actually. He says, as a viewer, I threw in the towel, but that's why I ain't a pro. God bless LeBron, man. Were you nervous at all, Jeshua?
Nervous ain't even the word, I don't think, man. We were on the couch screaming at the TV, heart boom, 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 just going crazy. Oh my gosh, I've never been so nervous in my life for a basketball game. It was crazy. I was telling everybody in the house, we had people over here watching the game. I'm like, guys, we haven't lost in 20 years, and now we're about to. My cousin goes, this is like the Avengers. We got the Avengers, and this is Thanos. He's about to snap. And I was like, we got to get to the gauntlet. We got to get there.
There we go.
Thank God for Steph Curry, though, setting it up. There we go. Look at the flag. Thank God for Steph Curry setting it up. I thought, this is the performance that I thought that Jamal Murray was going to have for Canada. Maybe bouncing back. Just the way Steph Curry has played throughout the tournament. Not super great, but then it's like, oh, yeah, I'm Steph Curry. Comes out, hits all the shots. It was just beautiful. Frustration that we all had watching the game yesterday at Embiid, right? Like he's doing everything right on the offensive end. He's also keeping us afloat throughout the way. You just give it to him in the post, and he's going to work on Jokic, the matchup that we always want to see in the NBA, and he's always ducking. But then on the other side, you just see the ball come off the rim, and Embiid's just looking at it. I don't know.
Hey, man, he was saving it for offense. He had like the little mid-range jumper. He had an and one layup. Maybe it was on Milutinov. I don't know who it was. And then the fadeaway over Jokic. That was massive. It got us to within 2 points. Us finally dropped my first us there, but it felt good. It felt good to say it because I've just been yelling about this ever since. If I'm Serbia, a couple of regrets I have. Number one, you don't talk trash to Carmelo Anthony, an American hero sitting there courtside. That got USA back in the game. LeBron said, no, that's my friend. Don't be mean to my friend. Number two, I thought it was an error from the Serbian coach to go away from Avramovic for Micic in the fourth quarter. Micic, he was struggling a little bit. I think he finished 3 for 13. I know one of his makes was a banked in three. So maybe not on purpose. Another one was a floater where he stepped through from about 18 feet, junked it up, and it bounced a billion times and dropped through. Avramovic, to me, is such a pest defensively. He would have been helpful on Steph, I think. And also, he is one of the better put your head down and get to the hoop kind of guys for Serbia. So those are a couple of potential places that could have gone the other way. But they also had some wide open looks in the fourth. There were still a couple of U.S. miscommunications. They just couldn't get it to drop, and the USA came out unscathed somehow. I got to get myself a DVD of this game because I've watched the highlights so many times, and it doesn't do it justice. I had to watch the Telemundo highlights yesterday. As soon as the game was over, it's like, girls, you got to come down here and see this. I'm like flipping through a million different YouTube channels. They don't have it on Peacock yet, but Telemundo updated theirs. So it was fun to see the Estados Unidos balling out yesterday. That was an awesome game. Very, very fun. I don't know what else you got here, Tassie.
Well, yeah, the painful moments for Serbia as they tried to finish it off was Bogdan set up Steph with that turnover. It's only a minute 40 left where he did that, and then they came down the other way, and Bogdan went into the backcourt for that weird violation. That was a backcourt violation with a minute 30, and you could see how hurt Bogdan was after the game, just facing his hands, because those plays were really key. Now, he was bringing it. I'm fine with him pointing to his head. I guess he's doing like the Dylan Brooks thing where he's finding a fan in the audience, and I guess the guy was Carmelo on this one. Like he was awesome to turn it around. I know.
Oh, that and one he had in the fourth quarter where he shot it sideways over his head, drawing a foul on Embiid. What a shot.
Yeah. So they had great guys. I do agree that the Micic for that first banker. Yeah, he banked home a three. It was weird to see Abramovich, who was awesome, who was just a pest through the first 4 games of this tournament, not to be playing at the end. I guess that was the thing for them, but also incredible defense from this American team that waited a little long to play too hard defense. I guess it was fine in the end.
They went Don Toretto mode. They said too soon. It doesn't matter if you win by 4 points or 44 points. Winning's winning. They just saved it for the final kick there. That was pretty special. Another play that was pretty interesting, I thought, was the 6-point possession that the USA got. Kevin Durant hits a 3 from the right wing. And I think it's Anthony Davis gets run over by Jokic. AD falls basically into KD's legs. Could have been scary. We've seen KD go down with like that exact kind of injury several times. But apparently the FIBA rule is different with regards to when the foul happens, because I thought it was going to be probably AD goes to the line to shoot 1 free throw or something like that.
I thought too.
Instead, Team USA gets the ball, side out. Devin Booker hits a three from the top of the key. I think that took it from like a 13-point game to a 7-point game, just like that. That was huge. But man, yeah, there were some stressful moments. Ash, I had sweaty palms. Like in the third quarter, USA gets it down to 7. Looks like they're on a run, and then instantly back up to double digits for Serbia. It just felt like they kept getting closer and closer and closer. But luckily, they weren't playing a 35-minute game. They played the full 40 minutes in this one, and that was just enough for Team USA. The cross, the sauce, the splash. I've been saying it nonstop.
Mm-hmm. We had all these worries. I've been asking a lot on this show, like what's going to happen when the game is closed? Who's going to get the ball? Who's going to make the plays? And it just so happened to be our big three, right? Like you guys alluded to it earlier. The bench was shook. Anthony Edwards, all them coming off the bench, just didn't look like they were ready. They were like, "Oh, we're losing a game right now. Like we're on Team USA. We're not supposed to be down at this time of the game." Yeah. It just kind of felt like that, and I'm just so happy that we had those three to put it away. I could not be happier.
Yeah, I know.
Especially
dads, I love those guys.
The dads. This is gonna be their last Olympics together for those big three because they're gonna be super old. And I know LeBron's playing with a gray beard right now, but he'd be 43 in the next Olympics. Like that's gonna be full on gray. And this is awesome for Steph. Obviously, his first Olympics to be doing 36 points as a 36-year-old. It's probably his last one too, I imagine, unless he plays when he's 40, I guess. And KD would be 39, but all those three together, you got to assume that it's their last Olympics together. But it's fun. It's also fun learning a new FIBA rule each game because even it happened in France, Germany, the game before when somebody ended up hitting a shot after the whistle. Like literally, you heard the whistle go and you heard it after the replay when they rolled the replay. But they still counted it for whatever reason. I mean, that
was a weird one.
Everybody's trying to figure it out. Eagle's trying to figure it out. He knows everything, obviously. Wade's trying to figure it out. Everybody still doesn't know. Wade's played in the Olympics, and it's still hard to figure it all out. But America did, and that's why they were going to a gold medal game. It's easy to think, though, that, as you said, Trey, that was the gold medal game. It really
the stakes of it certainly felt like they were playing for a championship. And you're right. This might be the end of LeBron, KD, and Steph playing 5-on-5 basketball together. I say send those three and Jimmer Fredette to LA to play 3x3. All they got to do is qualify. They got to play in a couple of tournaments as we get closer to the Olympics. So maybe they retire from the NBA life and just decide to dominate 3x3.
So we have the redeem team of 3x3. I like it. I'm here for it. I'm here for it, man.
That's perfect. Oh, man. Fun times for the Team USA squad yesterday. Let's talk about the other game, which was also awesome. One of the best games in the tournament. France keeps it rolling in the knockout round. They bullied Germany 73-69. They're going to the gold medal game. Gershon Yabusele, the Kabusele himself, 17-7. Matthias Lasor, 10-4. And Isaiah Cordonier went for 16 in this one. Tass, really fun game. Really fun way to start off our day basketball. What are your takeaways from France-Germany?
Yeah, you start mentioning those names on the French team, you could just keep on going. How they had guys perform in each role. Like Frank Ntilikina didn't hit a shot until the fourth when he hit two big ones. They had 11 guys play really, really key minutes, and that's why they could go so hard because it's sort of like hockey shifts out there. Like just go out and play incredible defense, and we can switch you out. And that's what they did. This German team started so hot that Franz Wagner, three, that low form, he starts so low and much in front of him, but he was able to bury that big three and was just super, super pumped and was super awesome going at Victor Wembanyama. Like he looks like a pro when he gets past Wemby. He puts on his left hand to stay away from Wemby and then get him on his shoulder. And then he went by Gobert. Like Franz was looking great, but he got super quiet after that first quarter. And the French team, obviously backed by their fans, it got louder and louder and louder and louder. And it is kind of good for France and how they end up winning because otherwise there would be a ton of talk about Victor Wembanyama having a poor shooting night. Like, he was doing so many good things, like denying that alley-oop pass to Tice. What a freaking play that was, looking like Giannis and DeAndre Ayton in the finals in 21. Like that, those are just really, really cool plays. But he did have a poor shooting night. But I love it how he just kept shooting. He missed three after three after three after three, and then he was able to hit one, and then ended up hitting 4 of 17 overall and just 1 of 8 from three. But that three was big, and they just had so many guys, up against a German team with so many guys off the bench that were just so damn good. Weiler, Bab, the Bonga, another Wagner, Moritz, they call him, and Timon even too. I mean, they were just so fun to watch. So this was, incredible game. It is disappointing. I thought Schroeder would be the guy to take Germany over the top, and he just wasn't quite himself in this game. But luckily for them, they just had so many guys that didn't matter how bright the lights were. They kept a great game all the way towards the finish when France was good enough, and they're playing their peak ball at a good time for them, obviously.
France was good enough, but I think if this is a 42-minute game, it might have gone the way of Germany. They seem to have the momentum at the end. I felt like Dwayne Wade was begging for anybody on either team to hit a clutch three, because every time somebody should be like, oh, Germany did start getting hot from three late in the fourth quarter. And they might have had a chance. I don't remember what the score was when Franz went for the rebound, gets the rebound on the defensive end, about 9 seconds left. But the way he went flying in, made contact with somebody on the box out. When he came down to the floor, he just couldn't get his feet under him to be able to actually attack on the other end. Too bad. Would have been nice if Germany could have called a timeout at that point, or, just be able to balance himself and get a shot up, because they were getting hot at the right time, which, I guess it was a 3-point game. They would have had to hit a three. Thanks, Ash, for that one. But unfortunately, Franz fell over. Franz was good, but, 10 points, 4 of 10 shooting. Schroeder, kind of the same thing, 18 points on 6 of 18 shooting. Like, they were productive. They weren't necessarily efficient. And that was surprising to me, because I didn't think that Germany was a team that would be affected with the physicality that France brings in quite the same way that Canada was. Canada has played together for a couple of seasons. Obviously, Murray is a new addition, but they're a younger set of teams. The German team is pretty old, pretty experienced. Outside of Franz and Mo, everybody else is pretty much a veteran. And I just thought that they would be able to withstand the French crowd, the French physicality, the big guys that they're able to throw in with Yabusele and Lesueur. But apparently playing in front of the Parisian fans just takes these guys to the next level, because they are so locked in. And I kind of feel like there are two teams, like two styles of teams that really get a fan base going. One of them, it would be like a small ball team similar to the Warriors. They start hitting a bunch of threes. Everybody's going crazy every time a shot goes in. But maybe even more so when you've got big, beefy dudes throwing their bodies around. You saw both Yabusele and Lesueur get post-ups on the left block, body their defenders, put them in the basket, score over the top, and then hit the too small. I think those scrappy, beefy teams can almost get the fans going more, because you're like, yeah, not only are we playing basketball, we're also delivering a punishment out here. It's fun to watch. And man, honestly, ever since they made the Gobert adjustment, it's a completely different French team. He played 5 minutes in the first half of this one, came off the bench just like he did in their in their first knockout round game win against the Canadians. It seems to be working. I don't know if things will change for the U.S. game, but what France has going right now is pretty impressive.
Yeah, with their beefy guys, as you said, those guys obviously got their workout in, got their lift in, and were ready to fight. It also benefits the French team that, because they played Germany in the last game of the round robin, the group tournament, and Germany embarrassed them. They were way more physical. So they have that sort of, it happens in lots of playoff series where you lose one game, you come back and you win the second game. So there's that, you have that revenge in your brain. but also just the level of play from these French guys defensively and not just physically. Like that play where France was shooting a free throw and they designed a pass for Dennis Schroeder just to get that outlet pass where he took off as soon as the ball went through through the net. He took off. They had this play to set him up, and it was a great play. And I thought Schroeder was going to lay it in, and I don't think he thought there was any possibility of Nicola Batum, who was covering him, for a chase down block. So that's why he took a little bit extra time. Like he should have been able to put it on the glass, but what a freaking chase down block by Batum. So I mean, he was staying with Schroeder a lot. He was doing a very, very good job. So they just had guys, whether they're the big guys grabbing the boards in Lesor or Cordinier. I mean, Isaiah, that is this guy. Yeah, he comes in like he was their Fournier. I mean, he's their modern day Fournier. Yeah. I guess they're transitioning to like this guy was just making huge shot after huge shot for 16 points for him to go with Yabusele 17. Like they didn't need Wemby to score more than the 11 that he scored. They just had so many guys producing over and over and over again. So that was perfect chemistry for these dudes. What a team, obviously. And yeah, the Gobert thing is super interesting in that you put in Wemby and you have, a lot more room on the floor because Wemby had to and did keep on shooting those threes that he was missing. So you have more space. And you have brought in, instead of Gobert, just this really aggressive defensive team on the perimeters. So even though Gobert is showing this year that he can guard on the perimeter, unless it's Luka in the playoffs, but like that is what he can do. But yeah, the combo of Wemby and him didn't work. And so the Town / Gobert / Reed thing is interesting in that when it comes to the Wolves next year too. But yeah, they just had guys to fill in, obviously. Yeah. So that was fun.
The Wemby thing is interesting because he hasn't been very efficient scoring. He seems a little out of sorts. I feel offensively, like he gets some shots up. He gets good looks from three, especially, but inside it's kind of an adventure. But I think he could be Ben Wallace mode in these FIBA games, and it would be fine. He could score 0 points. The effect he has defensively is huge for France. It allows all of their perimeter guys to be able to play up on their marks because Wemby's going to be locking it down inside. And then his height on the offensive end, just the fact that he draws people in, opens up lanes for everybody else. So I think France has just kind of found out in this in the knockout round that we don't need both Wemby and Gobert on the court together to still have a good defense. They held Germany to 69 points, and Germany has been cooking in this tournament. They have been an offensive machine up until this game, but playing just Wemby at the 5 allows them to get more offense on the court as well. And Cordinier, you're right. This guy has hit every big shot that the French team has needed. Fournier was great against Canada, hit some shots in this one as well. It's just been fun to watch the way they have put this together and, kind of morph themselves into a badass team in the knockout round, surprising everybody because that last game they played in the group stage against Germany, they looked like a team that was beat, but they're too proud for that. Impressive stuff from France. Sets us up for the gold medal game on Saturday. I think it's going to be 3:30 p.m. Eastern. We do have a bronze medal game ahead of that task. I think it's a 5 a.m. tip for Serbia and Germany. Yes. Yeah, you going to be up for that one?
I did think about it. That is tomorrow. It's possible. I'm getting a little older. I am waking up earlier and earlier and earlier. It's legitimately possible. I will be potentially. I can't commit quite yet, but I think it'll happen naturally. Because I'm just jacked for these teams. Like it'll be fun. Like watching Moritz Wagner, and now I got to call him Moritz because you see Moritz on his jersey. Yeah, which is good. The impressive part was Wagner always gets under people's skin, always. But it seemed like when he was banging with Lesort, like he had to even just say, "All right, I've met my match here." I mean, he did respect him. He respected the heck out of him. So yeah, 5 a.m. Let's do it. I'll do it now. I'll be up. I mean, not that anybody here listening has to be up with me, but I'll be ready. I'll be ready for this game because number one, I'm ready for some Moritz. Number 2, why doesn't Moritz, I guess you'd call it, like it's pronounced Moritz, but why doesn't he have a Ritz Crackers sponsorship? Like, why not? He should. It's spelled Moritz. Like, why not?
I guess it's just because he's known too much as Mo here in the United States.
Yeah,
he's not putting on the Ritz here in the U.S. of A. But maybe if he did, he'd get that cracker money. That actually lines up well with the way the guy looks. But yeah, 5 a.m. I'll commit to an accidental watch as well because I'm not intentionally getting up for a 5 a.m. start.
Right.
But if I accidentally do, hey, see what's going on. As for the 3:30 p.m. game, I will be 100% locked in for that one. USA versus France. Tass, what's one thing to watch for in the gold medal game for you?
Yeah, it's a great question. I do want to see Embiid against Wemby, and just how that matchup plays out, because Embiid was taking his chill pill in the fourth quarter, and Milutinov got 3 big offensive rebounds, huge offensive rebounds for the Serbian team. But I don't know if that happens with Wemby. Like, where's Wemby going to be? And will he make Embiid work on the defensive end, whether it be scoring? Because as you said, like he doesn't need to shoot, but he's going to keep shooting those 3. So where's Embiid going to play him? And then when the ball goes up, whoever shoots it, what's going to be happening as far as rebounds go? Because, that guy's huge, and he should be able to grab whatever rebounds he wants. That's why he's blocking as many shots as he wants. He had 3 blocks in the semifinals.
He blocked a Schroeder 3-pointer with 2 hands.
Yeah, that's what
I don't think I've ever seen that. Oh, I think he got it like a little 1-2 action.
I don't think he touched it with the second one, but like they called it.
Dwayne Wade a liar, Tass?
Yeah, he asked. I know he asked. And I thought, okay, man, Wade knows. And they showed the replay. It was all right fingies, but like the tips of his fingers. That's how high the ball was shot. Yeah. So anyway, we'll see if he has a 2-hand block. I mean, maybe he's watching volleyball. I don't know. But we need to see him. Obviously, if France has a chance to keep playing no matter what, and to keep shooting no matter what. And that's why Popovich is in the building. He is the same. He is of that mentality. Like, we need you out there shooting. That's what he used to say to Matt Bonner. That's what if you don't shoot, we need to yank you because you're not providing that space. So he has to continue to shoot. And yeah, just that matchup. I am interested to see the big versus big. And then, all these guys, as we've talked about, whether it's Gershon Yabusele or whether it's Matthias Lesort, that physical matchup, because America did take a little bit of time to turn on their defense in the semifinals. And so France is going to bring it. And so I wonder if the U.S. will match that physicality that France had, because I think they are, in general, a little bit more of a physical team than the Serbian team. So interested in all that.
Yeah, you nailed it for me. It's all about matching the physicality of Les Frères Bash, the Bash brothers, Yabusele and Lesort. USA was super physical, I thought, in the fourth quarter of the game against Serbia. The first 3 quarters, it seemed to be a little bit more finesse mode, trying to force turnovers and get out and run the way that Team USA usually likes to play. They're going to need 4 quarters of physicality and defensive rebounding from everybody. Because, Yabusele, he ain't LeBron James, but he's got the size to match up with LeBron James. They're both 270 pounds. Yeah. Lesort is a load to handle down low on the block. They rebound, and as we saw with Serbia, that's a place you can get going against USA, hitting the offensive glass. So that's huge. I wonder if we're going to see Rudy Gobert back in the rotation for France here, because you mentioned Wemby versus Embiid. Embiid put 70 and 18 on Wemby the one time they matched up in the NBA season this year. Obviously, things are different in the NBA and FIBA. Things are different between the San Antonio Spurs and the French national team. But Embiid did well against Wemby, and it wouldn't be surprising to me to see Cole go back to Gobert saying, hey, man, just like the U.S. needed Embiid against Jokic, we need you against Embiid. Just a big, solid defender out there. So I think that's a big one. How about X factors, Tassie? Anybody you think could swing this game either way?
Yeah, it's a good call. Just on the coach making a change, because France is totally comfortable. The players are totally comfortable in this Olympic scene to be starting or not. It happens freaking every game with them. Albacete was awesome for them as a starter, but then he went to the bench, and so that could happen. And so, as you just asked about, the X factors are going to be freaking important. And there's just so many on the French team. Now, I do like that they're going a little bit older and sitting LBC a little bit, but Cordinier is the most important Frenchman for me, because Fournier just feels like it's coming to the end. Unfortunately for him, like, he's just hasn't been hot. It's difficult to see Wemby get hot, and I know people are questioning, well, the guy can't hit a shot, and I know our man Ziggy here, who's been such a long time fan of the show and is in the stream team, saying, quote, "I'm waiting to be completely sold on Wemby. You can only dominate so much being that thin." Defensive player of the year perennial, though. Well, like, his offense is still awesome. But I do want to bring up that he did play a lot.
He has not been awesome on offense.
No,
No,
he has not. No. I just mean in general,
sure.
Yeah, the guy has game, and I think he's going to be a really good offensive player no matter what. And so I just want to bring up, this is the first time in his career where he's ever played 70 games of a regular season and then had to go into a tournament and play.
That's a good point.
A lot. And so I ain't going back and looking at the EuroLeague numbers with the 72 that he played for the Mets, the Metropolitans, but I like, they play far less, and I think he may just be a little worn down. I know that's just a generalization, but I watching him play for San Antonio, like, the guy's got such good game, and so I just think, like, the offense has to come from Cordinier. They do get such great performances from so many guys defensively, but he has to keep doing it. He has to keep being so good. Those are the key moments. Like, Fournier tries for those key shots, but it's the guy with a similar last name, in Cordinier. As they said on the broadcast, it's hard to say Fournier and Cordinier at the same time, but Cordinier is their guy that has to have key shots for me.
Yeah, I totally agree. Cordinier is the X factor for France. I saw John Hollinger tweet yesterday that Cordinier I think he plays in the Italian league. He had 3 games all season scoring 18 or more points, but in the knockout round, he's been going for 25 and 18, and he has just had the answer as a bailout guy for them. As for the U.S. Potential X factor, I think Bam and AD should be X factors here. I don't know if that necessarily fits their style, but the U.S. bench has, in general, been a strength for them. Like we said, they weren't very good against Serbia, but I think you're going to need the brawn, specifically of Bam, to guard a guy like Lasor. So I think Bam will get a chance on him. I think AD probably will as well. And those are big matchups for those guys, staying out of foul trouble and being able to keep them off the block, keep them off the glass. Ash, come on in here, man. We got to talk about predictions for USA versus France. You can make it quick if you want to. Who you taking, Ash?
I don't know if I should make a prediction, because every prediction I made on this show this week has been wrong. But yeah, I mean, I gotta go with USA. Please, guys, don't kill me if they end up losing. But
it wouldn't be your fault, man.
I guess one of my worries for US is, are they going to match the energy of France? Because they're going to bring it in front of everybody at home, and if they can just play up to the energy right there, I think they can pull it out.
Yeah, I'm with you. USA's got to keep their heads, because some things are going to go France's way. The crowd is going to be rocking. I'm sure Yabusele will do something crazy in the first 8 minutes. He'll be smiling ear to ear. The crowd will be completely hype. It'll be tense moments, but luckily they have this fourth quarter against Serbia that they understand how to get through those moments. I'm going USA by 11, just like in 2008 against Spain. How about you, Tess?
Yes, I also agree. I'm taking the US for sure. Yeah, the French guys have to stay hot, but they're going to bring the physicality. So I agree. Yeah, the Bam is going to play against Lasort, the Panathinaikos, huge forward. That guy is monstrous. So they do have great guys that come off the bench and play. Yeah, it feels like America's got it all together right now. That they just feel so good for that gold medal. That I don't know if you guys heard the story The reason why I'm wearing this 1996 Atlanta Olympic shirt
Nice.
was because Shaq. Did you hear Shaq's story that after winning the gold medal, it was here in Atlanta, but he didn't play the last game apparently because David Robinson was likely going to be playing in his last game. So Lenny Wilkins said, "Hey, Shaq, David Robinson's starting. Is that okay?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure. Yeah, whatever." And then Shaq ended up playing 0 minutes. And he literally, after the ceremony, had the gold medal on his neck. And then when he was in the car, he pulled it off and threw it out the window of his car.
No way.
That's what he said. I totally believe it. He kept saying, he's like, and that medal has never been found. And so I put this shirt on and I'm going to go searching around Atlanta's highways trying to find a gold medal. The guy just tossed it. That was really crazy.
He just chucked it.
Yeah. He said he ripped it. He ripped it. So the thing just ripped off his neck.
It's going to be Jason Tatum.
Yeah, it's Tatum mode.
Yeah.
This ain't my gold medal. Oh, that's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. I have been getting some flashbacks. I think it was I guess it was technically Dream Team 2 played in the 1994 World Cup. I don't think it was called that at that point, but it was in Toronto, right?
Yeah.
And Sean Kemp made a lot of international waves because they were mad at him for grabbing his crotch when he would dunk. That was like a Sean Kemp thing. And everybody's like, that's so disrespectful of the United States. Now we've got Joel Embiid. As soon as the game is over, he's like, there's no NBA referees around here to find me. I'm going DX mode for 10 straight seconds. And everybody's like, yeah, get him. Sean Kemp, man, he's got to be watching that. Be like, oh, come on. See, it's cool. It's cool. Anyways,
he'll do that. He'll do
that.
At some point.
Looking forward to it. So 5 a.m. if you're an absolute sicko, we got Serbia and Germany playing for the bronze medal, 3:30 p.m. Eastern. USA versus France for the gold. I assume that's a Peacock USA Network, though I didn't pay good enough attention to the USA Network part of things. Anyways, we'll be watching. Hey, remember the NBA? We've actually got some news, kind of, about it. Some future news, at the very least. Shams Charania of The Athletic talked to some sources, and he got a look at the NBA Christmas Day games for the 24-25 season. Shams says the games are going to be, I assume this is the order they're going to go. Spurs at Knicks, Timberwolves at Mavericks, 76ers at Celtics, Lakers at Warriors, and Nuggets at Suns. What do you think of this, Tass? First look at the likely 24-25, or I guess Christmas 2024 games.
I think it is very good. It is amazing to see Wembanyama on there. The Spurs are on Christmas Day for the first time. I don't know how long it's been. It seems like it's been a long time. I think, 10 very, very good teams. Obviously, there's snubs. There's some snubs out there.
Who's the biggest snub for you?
Oh, this is, I guess, a little bit of a deep pull. But at some point, Zion and the Pelicans have to be on Christmas. And I know Zion.
Come on.
Zion, man.
You can't trust that guy's going to be around on Christmas. They gave him a Christmas Day game his rookie year, and he wasn't there.
Yeah, that's why he's not on there. Because he may not be able to play. But there's going to be a day. Like, he played in the most games he's ever played in last year, and maybe he'll be healthy for a Christmas Day game. But to me, it's the Pels that stand out because of that. Because Zion should play on one. Obviously, he needs to play in some playoffs first, because that's the thing that's holding him back, having not played in a playoff game. But I'm just a little. It's an off pick, that's for sure, because I was watching Daniel Tice yesterday, and he's going to be their starting center because they really don't have much center depth at all. But that dude was playing for Germany. He had block after block. He was doing so many things. A left hook pass across his body into the right corner. Anyway. So
I would love to hear that from Adam Silver. He comes out, announces the Christmas Day games, and he's like, I mean, you guys saw Daniel Tice during the Olympics. We're giving the Pelicans a game. The biggest snub is OKC. Yeah. They were the West's number 1 seed. They had a top 2 MVP vote in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. They got better. They should be getting a game. They should get one, honestly, over the Spurs, but I understand Wemby is there. I would also change up some of the matchups here. I think we've had Sixers versus Celtics and Lakers versus Warriors playing on Christmas for 10 straight seasons. Mix it up, though. You can understand why the Celtics are getting a game. They're the champs. The Lakers and Warriors are there because they have two of the greats playing for them in LeBron and Steph. And then the 76ers obviously are a rival of the Celtics. It just doesn't enthuse me a ton. I would also like to change up Timberwolves and Mavericks and Nuggets and Suns. I want them playing each other. I want Nuggets Timberwolves in a rematch, and I want Suns versus Mavericks because those are teams that have a lot of history with each other. So I think they got a lot of the teams right, though I don't necessarily think the matchups are ideal to me. And OKC definitely should have a game.
Yeah, I think I guess they're playing the international card here and saying Wemby is the big French star, and so he's playing. To me, I think if you put a small market in like the Spurs, then OKC gets screwed. And I know
they get squeezed for sure.
Yeah, but yeah, like you could see a team like the Phoenix Suns that got popped in the first round with a sweep. If we're looking at that sort of perspective, they could be dropped too. But they have the stars. That's what it's about, and so they squeaked in. They pushed one small market team in, but I think that's probably their limit.
Yeah, you're probably right. The Spurs probably did take OKC's slot here, but I don't know. They should have gotten a game, I do believe. Jeshua, which one of these games are you most excited for on Christmas Day? I know you're going to probably take the Celtics because the Hawks aren't playing, so you'll be a Celtics fan that day. But other than that game, what are you most excited for?
Yeah, other than that game, I don't know. I guess I had to go with the Lakers and the Warriors. We see it all the time, but Steph and LeBron is always, gold.
Something cool happened.
But yeah, you gotta watch those guys play, especially on a Christmas Day, because there's gonna be a buzzer beater or like something crazy coming down to the wire, because it's been that way since LeBron's time on the Cavs every Christmas for the past 10 years, 12 years. So yeah.
Oh, but he's going to be given a gift to his son, Bronny. I'm sure he'll be given a nice pass to him or something. That'd be crazy if Bronny
Wow,
plays.
Interesting. Do you think that Bronny James will still be on the Lakers active roster at Christmas, or will he be a G Leaguer at that point?
Well, you can bring him up and bring him down. He definitely has to play in the G League.
Yeah,
from the get-go, but bring him for Christmas. I mean,
you're probably right. Call him up so the family can spend time together. Yeah. Gift exchange
on the bench.
He wants to be part of the Lakers gift exchange. I love it. So that's a long time from now. You want some news from something else that's even further in the future? Just yesterday, the Dan Le Batard show had John Tesh on to debut a new version of Roundball Rock that will likely be in use for the 25-26 season. Let's pull it up here and give you a taste of John Tesh's new Roundball Rock.
Here is Roundball Rock, the shredded version, for you to poop on.
Oh, just a little taste of the shredded version. Tass, what do you think?
It's a good NBA theme song, period.
That's right? A good NBA theme song.
Yeah. I'm glad it's back. All those clips weird me out. But I mean, John Tesh sounds like Bill Walton, the late Bill Walton coming. Like,
you're kind of right.
He kind of sounds, deep voice there. And the guy's redoing the NSL skit. That was a great skit. So I mean, it's like it just kind of it throws you off for a second. It's like, is this the NSL skit? What's going on? What are we listening to? Because those guys ripped on that NSL skit. So it kind of throws
SNL, Saturday Night Live, not the night of Saturday's live
NSL.
show.
Yeah, I'm not sure why I'm calling it NSL.
But it is funny because, obviously that sketch has aired since NBC hasn't had basketball. They haven't had the NBA. So Roundball Rock, back when they were just back when they had the NBA, that was just a song. That's just how it sounded. And now we all act like it has lyrics. The Le Batard show, I thought, was very smart to have a couple of their staffers dressed like who is it? Jason Sudeikis and Tim Robinson, I suppose. But it was throwing me off because they're throwing in like the little still shots of them as well. I had to go and watch the actual Le Batard to be like, this isn't a joke, right? This is actually John Tesh debuting the song. But I thought, the vibe was the same. Obviously, a lot more guitar rather than just straight up keyboards. But it sounded the same to me, so maybe unnecessary, but it sounded nice. What do you think, Ash?
Oh, I love it. I'm so glad it's back. And then, like just kind of updating a little bit. You got to compete with the ESPN theme song, the TNT theme song, which we've heard for so long now. Like, you guys danced to it that one time on opening night. Like, they had to step it up just a notch to kind of compete with that. But it's Roundball Rock. Like, everybody knows it. Doesn't matter if you're an NBA fan or not. You hear that and you're just automatically thinking, basketball. So you gotta love it. You have to, or else you shouldn't exist. I think you gotta love it.
Well, Saturday Night Live, it's an NBC property, right?
Right.
They should 100% bring those guys back to do the sketch at some point during the season. I wouldn't be surprised if they do, but I'm kind of getting excited. Like, between hearing Noah Eagle and Dwayne Wade on the call and then getting a solid version of Roundball Rock re-recorded by John Tesh, they didn't bring in the Imagine Dragons. It's not Chappell Roan doing Roundball Rock. We got the OG guy. It sounds the exact same. It's still a long time from now, but I think this has been a good basketball summer for NBC so far.
It has been top notch, absolutely top notch. Yeah, you get thrown off there for a sec seeing John Tesh because he looks different. Obviously, he's older and he's got the white hair going on. So you're like, what are they doing? But yeah, they redo it on set there for Le Batard. Smart move. And yes, I mean the SNL skit is just so good too because those guys, the Sudeikis is king and Robinson king. So. That has to be redone. What I guess maybe Snoop Dogg can join in or something. I don't know.
He'll be involved somehow, I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Great stuff. So we got some Christmas Day games coming in the future, and then the far future new Roundball Rock. Very exciting times, guys. I think this has been a classic episode of No Dunks. I don't know about you.
100%.
I don't know about you. What are we doing next week? We're back. I think Tuesday. Is what it's lining up to be, though there will be obviously a Summer of Champions tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern. What events are on Olympics today? I know breaking starts. So I'm sure they'll get into some talk of that because, I bet if you ask Skeets deep down inside, number one, he would pick basketball to be an Olympian. Number two, maybe running. He's a great runner. But he also appreciates his own dance skills. So I think he would want to be a dancer as well. And I know there's a guy named Phil Wizard who's Canadian. So maybe he's living through that guy vicariously. So they'll be talking about that tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern. Then we got 5 a.m. Bronze medal game, 3:30 p.m. gold medal game. And I think I'm going to go on Summer of Champions to talk about the gold medal game on Saturday night, 7 p.m. unless the worst happens. And I'm a sad boy. A very, very sad boy. I don't even want to put the energy out there, Jeshua, but I think I'm feeling confident. Should be fun. Then we'll be back next week to talk about, I know we got some mailbag action going. Tass, I don't even want to spoil it. The message you sent in Slack today said, I got something special that's ready to go whenever you want it. The return of a classic episode of No Dunk. So stay tuned to that. Thank you all so much for joining us. Clipper Bros.
You heard it here first. Have a great time. Turn up. Love you guys. Awesome.
Thanks for joining us. And remember, Isaiah Cordonier, if you want to say it the French way, it's Isaiah. So I can't stop saying me and Isaiah. We go back like babies with pacifiers. Anyways, that's all I got to say. I'm going to tune into the U.S. women's semifinals in 29 minutes because I'm watching Asia Wilson play incredible ball. Now I don't want to spoil that one because it feels like they're gonna win that, obviously. But USA Australia should be good.
Well, I see ya later. Tass, Jeshua, embrace the day, people.